certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I have today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. From my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I love today. Hello. One street over there's a life I...
SGI. I'm Utah LaVern, and this is One Street Over, a chance for you to see what's happening one street over from where you live. And we're living right here in Robertson County because things are wonderful and brilliant and all the things. And my friend Sarah is in. Sarah Ricciardi. Did I say it right, Sarah?
You did. Perfect.
I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
I'm getting better. But Sarah's in the house, and she is with StayPositive.news. I'm so glad to have you guys here.
Thank you. Yeah.
We all need the positive news these days, don't we?
We do. Yes, we do.
Oh, my goodness.
We need to flip the switch.
Yes,
on
we
what
do.
news means. Yeah.
I know. I love that. We need to flip the switch on what news means, and that's great. And you guys focus on the positive stuff here in Robertson and Sumner County.
Yeah.
And sometimes even out. I mean, y'all venture out beyond that, and I mean, it's just so positive and it's so wonderful. And if you're not following them, shame on you. You should. I mean, let's go. Come on.
Because now you know. So
now
come
you know.
on. Yeah.
There's no excuse.
No excuse. Yeah. I had someone tell me the other day, she said, Sarah, I set Stay Positive News as my a button on my home screen.
Nice.
I go to it every morning. It's part of my morning ritual. And she said it has changed my day.
Yep.
And that's how powerful it is.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, this is kind of like foundationally what has really changed my whole perception is that, I don't know, it's been 5 years ago, I think, that I decided every morning I try to do something that is spiritually led instead of going, because for a long time, I would turn up the minute my eyes would open. I've got news radio on, and I love my news radio. Dana Lash, we're so proud of you. She's number 5 in the top talkers. Woo. You go, girl. I'm so proud of you. I can't hardly stand it. And the girl, we don't have a lot of women that are in. I mean, I think she's the only girl in the top 25 of the top talkers.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, I love listening to political radio. And or I did. I don't anymore. But I turned it off, and I just started trying to start my day with praise and worship or something spiritual. Now, some days I kind of venture off of that. I'll open my phone up and something will grab my attention. But it's never anything heavy. I don't do anything heavy. But just like you said, set your home screen to staypositive.news, and you won't have that's going to be the first thing that's going to pop up. And we can do that. We can make it so that happens. So you're always getting those positive things, and it will literally change your whole disposition in the day.
Yes, it rewires your brain.
Yes, it really
it really does. Yeah,
it really does. And I just love it, and I just love what you guys are doing, and I love that you're growing and kicking, and oh my goodness, there's my friend Ken Dooley. He's one of y'all's sponsors.
Oh yay, Ken!
I love Ken. Hey, Ken, what's up, bud?
Awesome.
Yes, he's just an awesome friend. He went to church with me for years and years.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, but he's at church at White House now. But that's so cool.
Yeah, we have known him for a while, my husband and I, so he's helped us out since we moved here.
Yeah. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. And but he's a lot of fun. Yeah. And I was watching the other day, just this popped up because it popped up one of the stories. I want to hear about the Beta Club, the national title in performing arts. I'm like, well, what does the Beta Club do? I saw that, I don't know, when did that story post, yesterday or the day before?
It was Monday, I think.
Okay. Yeah. But when it posted, I was like, what in the world is Beta Club doing with the performing arts?
I know.
I was like, what is that all about?
I know.
And so as soon as that popped up, I was like, I need to see if our Beta Club is involved with the performing arts because I'm a bobcat,
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Get them involved. Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And I thought that was so cute.
Yeah. But, I did have to get clarity when I saw it, when I got the lead. And then I sat down with Darcy, who's phenomenal, and talked with her, and I said, okay, you've got to explain this to me because I'm used to Beta being, academic, but it's for people that are in honors classes and that want to give back, but then they have all these different divisions that really give anyone with any preference a platform to be able to showcase what they love. And they rocked it out.
I love it.
National title's a pretty big deal.
I know. I think it's hysterical. Yeah. And I just thought that was so cute. And
the pictures, you probably love
they're adorable. I know. Their costumes and stuff. And I would have loved to have seen it.
Yes.
It just sounds like such a great little bit that they did. And I just love, we're getting ready to bring talent show into Bobcat Country.
Yes.
I promoted it at the end of, and I hope I haven't bit off more than I can chew because I really don't have any idea what I'm doing. I'm going to make my friend Muriel Barnett help me. She doesn't know it yet. She's gonna be. I'm volunteering her that. Well, she was a teacher at White House Heritage forever and ever, and she retired after she and I were teaching for 1 year, and then she retired. And so she was, I'm just starting and she's just finishing, and she's not in town today, so she may pull this up and hear this. And I haven't even talked to her about it. I talked to her about putting together a talent show. But I told her, I said, we need to know what the kids can do before the end of the year. Yes. A lot of times talent shows are at an odd time, and I want the incoming freshmen to be able to say, look at me, look what I can do. So if we've got some hidden talent, we know about it. I have a kid that is in my class that he's just a master at a guitar. And Aiden Raymer, I'm talking about you again, buddy. He's just super talented. And people didn't even know this young man played. And I'm like, what? He's so talented.
Yeah.
I found out about another one, Lex. Your mom outed you and told me about your guitar playing too. And so I am going to put those two together. Ooh. When we get back to school for a guitar. I'm going to try. I'm going to ask them. I'm going to volunteer them too. I think you guys need to be a feature, and then they may do something independent too. But I'm going to ask them very nicely. Will you guys please play together?
Yes.
And maybe even we can get Mr. Staggs involved. He plays guitar.
Oh yes. He plays on Sunday mornings.
Yeah. I'm thinking
I get to enjoy it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, maybe we can get a little instrumental ensemble going there.
Yes.
But nonetheless, when I put it in the news at the end of last year that we are going to have the talent show. So get your acts together this summer. We're not going to forget, guys. And the talent show is going to be like within the first 6 weeks. We're going to have it quickly. It's my plan. Or it's going to be early October, I think, is the date we've got on it. So it might be, but we're going to try out within the first month.
Yeah. Good.
for it.
Good.
And I want Muriel to come help me with the tryout because she told me, she said, you got to have them try out. You got to make them stick to what they presented. Like if they're going to do a song, cannot be a song with, though this is the clean version. No, because the kids will be singing along the bad version. She says it's got to be, there's certain guidelines. So I'm going to have her come help. So she doesn't know it. So anyway, she'll get word. She'll get word.
Yeah,
anyway.
That sounds like a powerful duo putting it together. So
I think so. But that's the kind of stuff I love seeing the kids showcase their talents like that. And that's what this Beta Club story is about. Is some super smart kids that are doing some creative things. You're not just smart, you can also be creative too. Yeah.
And this was the first time they had ever come together to perform anything like this. So it was really just kind of Darcy's, she was graduating. And so she wanted to just experience all the things that she could.
I love it.
And she really went in and recruited people to be a part of it. And then they performed. And their parents were the ones that were there with them. It wasn't, they didn't necessarily have a teacher that was on the trip with them because it was after school. I mean, it was just like, a month ago. It was at the end of June. So it was just a family affair. It was just so much fun. And we're creating a reel. So I'm going to post a reel that'll show the reactions because it's priceless. It's so precious. And then we'll also share the snippet of the performance so that you can watch it. Yeah.
Awesome. Good. I want to see it. Yes, I want to see that. I think that's just great. But how much fun is that? I just love it. And that's the kind of stuff you're going to find at staypositive.news. Y'all need somebody to staypositive.news.
Oh,
I
have a story to tell you.
You need a stinger.
And we're going to, because we have, I don't know if you caught the story about the gentleman that's been battling an illness since 2019.
I don't think I saw that one. Which one is
the title is Turning Pain into Praise.
Okay.
And he, it was last week, maybe buried a little bit, but he actually wrote a jingle for us.
Oh, funny!
Which was so sweet, and
it's
in a format that I can't share it because it's just an audio clip. You know what I mean? Like on my phone. Right. So I'm getting that from him because he's given us permission. But super sweet. So he has battled. They don't know. He's undiagnosed. He's got a lot of different things. He's a super young guy, in his early 30s. Has a 2-year-old. And instead of just wallowing in that, he has taken his stillness and he's actually allowed God, and he says this, he's allowed God to use it to write music. And so he's written music for his caregivers at TriStar Hendersonville, the hospital that he feels like he lives at this point.
Gotcha.
And it's just really cool. So he took time to write us a jingle. And I'll tell you what, LaVern, the people that are going through stuff, when they reach out randomly to text and encourage you, it's very humbling because that's what he's doing. I mean, he'll reach out just to encourage me and encourage us in what we're doing, and it's phenomenal.
That's incredible. I mean, partial paralysis and blurred vision. What in the world?
Yes.
What in the world? What a good-looking young man here too. What a sweetheart. And man, I just can't even imagine. And bless his heart.
Yeah.
Bless his heart.
He said one of the things that he shared that I loved was, he said, Sarah, I always asked God to use me, but I was never still enough to listen.
Wow.
He said, now I'm still enough.
Wow.
And he is making a powerful impact on everybody that he interacts with.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've not been still enough to listen, but now, oh my goodness, that's power. That's power. Yeah. They call him Country with a K. K-U-N-T-R-Y.
Yeah.
I love it.
He kept telling me to call him that. It was a little hard.
Country.
But yeah, he is Country with a K.
I love it. I love it. What a great story. Country H. Country H. I love it, love it, love it. That is what a great story. What an inspiring story. Like I said, we want to hear, we'll have to hear this.
Yeah.
I mean, so you'll have to get me that.
Try to send.
Yeah. I mean, you can play it on your phone and put it at the microphone if you want.
Let me see if it's like still.
If you've got it handy, we can listen to it. That'd be great.
Yeah, let me try to pull it up.
This is what you get. StayPositive.news. So much more than defining what the news should be, or I forget what you said exactly. It was a good hook though.
Flipping the switch.
Flipping the switch to what the news should be.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that. That is beautiful. That is such a great thing. But She's looking for, while
I do, I
Sarah's
have
looking
it.
for, do you have it?
I do.
Okay, well, go ahead and just
So-
hit play and put it up to the microphone. We'll play it if you want to.
Well, the world keeps turning and the storms roll in, but we've got hope and we've got friends through every trial and all we've been through. We're still standing thanks to folks like you. So take this moment, breathe in deep. There's strength in you that runs real deep. Stay positive, let the light shine on. Even when the night feels way too long, there's a fire in your heart, and it still burns true, and we believe in you. Stay positive, new.
Yay.
Is he singing it?
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
is.
that boy's got a voice on him
Yeah,
too. Oh
yeah.
my word! Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, country H, that's pretty slick. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
love
One
that.
morning I woke up and he's just like, "Hey, I wrote this for you." And
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
How did you come? How did you get to know him? Now, how?
so yeah, so because he is at TriStar
Okay.
so often, and they are one of our sponsors.
Gotcha.
So the HR person, I'm sorry, the PR person, got in touch with me and said, "There's this story. You've got to feature it."
Oh wow!
And because he's written songs for them, and he actually spoke at one of their monthly leadership meetings,
wow!
presented to the whole
Wow.
leadership board there. Yeah, it's
Wow.
phenomenal story. So
Wow.
if you think you have, if you look at your life and you see limits and you see obstacles,
Mhm.
remember that often they are actually a pathway to something bigger and better. And that's what he's doing, and it just
Wow!
melts my heart every
I think
time.
so many of us needed to hear that today because sometimes, things happen and you're like, what in the world's going on? Why are we dealing with this? Why is this? And and the Lord will teach you something. And like he said,
Yeah.
make you slow down enough to just go, okay, what? Because,
Yes. Yes.
man,
Yeah.
what a powerful story.
Yeah.
What a
yeah, it
powerful
was
story that
great.
is.
And you can get links to his music on the article itself. So when you visit us, you can see those.
I saw that at the bottom. It says you got YouTube, Apple Music, and SoundCloud. So go buy a song from this young man.
Yeah.
What a great story.
Yes.
What a great story. That is so cool. And then there's a beautiful picture of him with his beautiful bride before he. I mean, and you just have to wonder what in the world's going on with him,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
know.
And he's
And-
he's gone through all of the channels to try to figure it out, to try to go to a research hospital. What they're running into now, LaVern, is that his insurance is basically saying, we're done. And he says they've spent a lot on me, but
Yeah.
he's not ready to just be done.
No.
He
Has he
wants
been to
to
like
keep
Mayo
fighting.
or anything?
I believe he's applied to them, but I don't think that they will take his case, if I'm remembering correctly,
Okay.
because it is. I mean, people just don't know
Yeah.
what it
Has he
is.
been to has he been to Vanderbilt?
I would assume.
I would assume,
yeah,
that he's been to all
Yeah.
of Vanderbilt. That's just interesting.
Yeah, but if
know-
anybody has connections, or knows anything about working with someone with an undiagnosed disease, reach out.
Reach out.
Yeah.
And it's partial paralysis and blurred vision. And this is something, that I talk to my kids about all the time. And it's part of my curriculum. I talk about the knowledge doubling curve. Okay. Is a theory that says it looks at how knowledge across time, how long it takes for it to double. Prior to 1900, the knowledge doubling curve states that it took about 100 years. If you develop something, say you developed, something that was innovative in a machine or something like that. Prior to 1900, it would take 100 years for it to span the globe.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And as we became, as we gained access to wireless transmission and, early radio signals, early television signals, it that time lessened. And it got to where it was like 20 years, 10 years, and now it's hours, maybe minutes, that if something super innovative happens, that it spans the globe. So I use the example, there's a young girl a young woman who grew up, Dr. Katie, she grew up with my kiddos, and she does cancer research. And so I will use her as an example. I'll say, okay, my friend Katie, Dr. Katie, let's say she comes up with something that's innovative in cancer research, and it's the piece that they need over in Australia. They're doing something, and that's a little piece of information that will help them develop what they're doing.
Yeah.
And she can put that out there, and they're like, oh, that's the missing piece. And then you suddenly have a cure for cancer. Or you do it because of AI. I mean, that's a question I asked AI the other day, because I've lost my sister and my mother to cancer, and I hate the disease so bad. And I said, what's the cure for cancer? To AI. And they go, it's like you can just imagine. And at the end of it, I said, and they said, that we're constantly researching it. And I said, well, so shouldn't you be able to figure it out? You are AI. And that's a very good point. That's a point to ponder. And honestly, and then it came back and said, we're working on it. And I was like, ooh, it's cool. But it's like, you think about those things. So in something with a case like his, somebody's got the answer.
Yeah.
So with the knowledge doubling curve out there, guys, spread the word that Country H needs some access to some research.
Yes.
So Mayo, come on.
Yeah.
That's just it's Mayo is the Mayo Clinic, I guess, is up in the region where my husband's from. Yeah. And he talks about people should be able to get there. And it's just, he was talking to a family member. We had a family reunion over the weekend. We were up in the UP, y'all. So
where are you? I was in Michigan just a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, but not all the way up.
It's so funny. We had...
beautiful.
The Upper Peninsula is just amazing. And I had one of my husband's cousins. I went around and said, who are you? What's your name and who do you belong to? The different ones, trying to kind of get everybody. Yeah. And I got so tickled at one of his cousin's daughters said to me, she goes, we're from the Lower Peninsula. Yeah. So funny. And my husband says, we call them trolls. Yeah. Because they're below the Mackinac Bridge. And so it's just quite funny. But we had a family member that's got something kind of mysterious going on. And Mark's like, why are you not at Mayo?
Yeah.
Why don't you go to Mayo? So apparently it must be, I don't know where the Mayo Clinic is.
Rochester, Minnesota.
Okay, so so that's up in that area.
I have family that's there. Okay. Yeah.
And he's like, get over to the Mayo Clinic.
I think they have other places too, but Rochester's where it started.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
But that's the one that you want. If you've got something going on that just, cancer patients don't even no other hope, that's where they want to go.
Yes.
But the insurance.
And that's what he's running into now is the cost, right? So what do you do?
Does Mayo scholarship anybody? When you've got, I would think that then when they have something super mysterious, that they would want the data, for something like that.
Yeah.
And so maybe you can appeal in that direction. Say, okay, my insurance won't let me come, but I've got something really odd. Think about what you can learn from me. Because that's one thing. My husband has had a whole bunch of heart ablations and a whole bunch of cardio. He has a atrial fib and atrial flutter thing going on. And Vanderbilt even said that, they learn from him and they want to track what goes on from our kids and things and the hereditary aspect of it.
Right.
He signed things saying, yes, you can use me as part of your research.
Yeah.
Because we want to, absolutely, if I can help with research. I know I told my doctor we had some weird things happen with my with one of my knee replacements last year. And my doctor even said after they finally figured out, he goes, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. And I said, if y'all learned something, because he's a good doctor, and it just really broke his heart that it happened. And I said, if you learn something that'll help you down the line, then I'm okay.
Yeah.
And so, that's the thing. And this is an opportunity. This is maybe they can, really learn something from him to help others. So Mayo, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So anybody with any connection, and even if it's Vanderbilt again, too, he just needs.
Yeah.
He's not ready to give up. And insurance wants to call hospice in. That's all they're going to pay for at this point. But he's not ready. No. He's not ready.
Well, we got to fight for him. So, what a great guy.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
Yes.
I love that story. But,
beautiful.
Just we need to keep working to see if we can't, get this young man back on his feet and living well again.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
All right. So, talking with, I have to look at your name to say it right. Isn't that ridiculous? Sarah Ricciardi.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm getting it. I don't know why. Is your husband Hispanic?
Well,
that's a
no,
Hispanic
he's
name.
Italian. Sicilian is the,
okay. That's a
the O would be
Okay, so because
Ricardo.
I hear it and I'm like, okay, but so it's
first name is Richard, so you can imagine,
Ricciardi.
and he grew up in Texas, so he was Ricky Ricardo like all the time, right? Of course,
yeah, of course.
But it's Italian, yeah.
That's hysterical. That's funny. But there's a kid in one of my classes that has a name that has a little bit of a Hispanic kind of flair to it. And I'm like, I said, man, you don't look like you're Hispanic. He goes, I'm not, Miss Vivio. I'm like, well, your last name. He goes, yeah, you pronounce it wrong. It's like Polish or something. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like,
okay.
and I looked at it and I had one of my other kids go, I know, Miss Vivio, you mispronounce his name all the time. What's up with that? I'm like, well, because you didn't correct me.
I know.
You little knuckleheads.
You gotta help me.
You gotta help me out here. But I love my kiddos. I just love them. They're so much fun. Yeah. All right, guys. What else you want to talk about? We're already half hour in.
I know. Look at that. Yeah.
I know how fun.
So I did want to talk before we talk about more stories. I did want to talk about that we are starting a weekend. Every weekend we want to feature different fun, free family events going on through our social media. So of course, I don't know if people know, but we have a community calendar. You can always send anything to me, Sarah at staypositive.news, and we'll add it to that when it meets those criteria.
Okay.
Fun, free, family focused. But we're wanting to do a post every weekend too, because that's what we get the most engagement from.
Right.
Because people want to know, they want to search, they want to find different things. So please let us know in the community when you have something going on.
So would that be, okay, so fun and free, if you have church fundraiser where they're doing a barbecue, because we just had the Owens Chapel and the different big barbecues, even though you do have to buy your lunch, it's just an event to come out and.
Yes.
Okay, do you have, well, the Thresherman show is not free.
We have the Turning of the Pig is on our community calendar.
That was last week.
Yeah.
Well, and then we have.
So that's like an example.
Well, like the Thresherman show.
Yeah.
There's a $10 price to get in.
It's pretty phenomenal, though.
It is one of those things that it's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So that's the thing. Some things just aren't free because they're trying to keep the program alive.
Right.
That Thresherman show, we talked about it yesterday. It's next weekend, not this weekend. But you can go see old horse pools and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it
you
looks
see those.
phenomenal.
It's so educational, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the point that they made yesterday, is the educational aspect of people being able to see these old engines because they were the latest and the greatest of their time at one point.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting, very interesting. But that's next weekend. So that's there are some costs there. But I want to tell you, and we've got the Recovery Fest coming up.
Yes.
So is that on your radar?
Yep.
The Recovery Fest, and I forget the date.
Yep, I'll look it up.
But yeah, it's in August, and it's going to be, I'll find it for you. I'm on the recovery court board. You'd think I'd know it right off the top of my head, but it's like I'm wanting to say the second week in August. I'm wanting to say something like that. I'll find it. But I think it's on. I think we have it on. I think there's a Facebook page for the Recovery Fest, but that's coming up pretty quickly. We had it last year, in the middle of the day, and it was just so hot.
Oh, gosh.
Second Annual Recovery Fest. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I'll tell you. It is August 9th.
Okay.
From 5 to 9 p.m. August 9th from 5 to 9 p.m.
Thank you.
And it will be an outstanding event, as it always is. And we hope you will come out and be there. It's going to be wonderful. But that's August 9th. So that is a free event, but it's there at the fairgrounds, and there's always great music and just everything. It's just a good event. It's just a great event. So we want to invite you out to that, but all kinds of stuff like that. So where do we need to submit these things if we have those kinds of things?
So you can go to our website if you want, staypositive.news, and there's, a communicate with us button, and that will all go to me, or you can just email me, Sarah at staypositive.news.
Okay.
Sarah with an H.
Staypositive.news.
Yep.
Sarah with an H? I did. I was going to say, did I?
No, yeah,
H on your name?
Usually.
I was trying to make sure I did. All of a sudden, I thought, ooh, have I been misspelling that? But Sarah with an H, and staypositive.news if you want to get in touch with her. You
guys know how to party on the 4th of July too. I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
you know how to party on the 4th of July.
The 4th of July was awesome here.
Yes,
absolutely. And this is a Lee Marie suggestion on for Country H, that he needs to talk to Wild Doc at Wild Roots.
Oh,
because he is one of those that really looks into the homeopathic side of things. He's a chiropractor, and I would say yes. I mean, there's none better than Dr. Brown, Wild Doc. He is really good. He is our chiropractor, and he'd be like, "Yeah, sure, LaVern. When's the last time you've been here?" I know, I know. It's just all the things. We're just so dabbling busy. But we looked really a long time for a chiropractor, and he is by far just the best we've been to in a very long time. I love chiropractic. I just wish he were here in Springfield.
Yeah,
he's about 20 minutes up the road, 30 minutes up the road towards Clarksville.
Okay.
He has a place out in the woods now. It's a cabin. It's just the coolest thing. I just love it. I love his place. But yeah, he's Wild Roots is what it's called. And but he is phenomenal. And he comes on radio first Friday. Usually they do a special, but I'll give you his number real quick. It's 931-591-2010. That's 931-591-2010. Wild Roots Wellness, and give that
for
to him
country.
Because,
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. That's what she was saying, because we were talking about. I just saw her message a second ago, but we were talking about innovative ways to treat him. I mean, he may have some insight others don't have, because he studied it so deeply.
Yes.
And I think he would definitely be one to have a conversation with.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you, Lee Murray.
Yeah.
Thank you.
People don't give chiropractic medicine the credit it deserves.
Correct.
And I'm telling you, it's as ancient as medicine, because I mean, in the beginning, that's all they had.
Yes.
And they would make sure the body's working properly and properly aligned. And that was medicine, and
it affects so much too of the rest of everying, right, in our body. It really does.
I tell the story. My kid, one of my kids, I had twins right out of the gate, and when he had the umbilical cord wrapped around. Once they delivered the first twin, they realized that my Jeremiah was going to be in distress if we didn't get him here. And so he went through a little more traumatic delivery, and they kind of had to move his neck around. They didn't realize it at the time, but they'd messed up his neck.
Oh.
And so I had always gone to the chiropractor, but I didn't want him adjusting my babies, not yet. Maybe when they got a little older, right?
Yeah.
And so Dr. Sean Eckley was our chiropractor, and just a great guy. He's no longer in practice, but he had a lot of ear infections. Jeremiah had. He was about 6 months old, maybe. And he's like, let me look at his neck before y'all go get tubes in his ears. And I'm like, no. And he's like, I'll be careful. And so he put him down and adjusted this baby's neck, and he never had another ear infection.
Wow.
Never.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
see,
it was part of the birth process that messed his neck up. And I'm like, so
I know.
That's something. There's something to it, y'all.
Yes. It's
get
connected.
him to the Wild Doc. Maybe he can help.
Yeah.
We're talking with Sarah Ricciardi from StayPositive.news. Let me pause right now and do an ad. I want to talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards, because I got a couple of them we need to do. We need to talk about the UPS store and all the things too today. But I want to talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. Y'all know I always talk about them every single day because they're my dear friends, longest running full-time sponsor. And if you need some help in real estate, man, they got you covered. They are Rebecca has an agency office in White House. She is, she was part of the Garden Gate team originally, but she has been with Exit Prime now. She and Barry got together and they just put a new branch in the Exit tree. Exit is the company. When Rebecca started in real estate, she said, I want to make sure that I'm with a company that has everything that I need, that has every single T crossed and every I dotted, to make sure that anything that I find as a need as I'm trying to set my business up, that they've got it covered. And she said Exit, just none came close to comparing with what Exit brought to the table. And she's still with them all these years later. And Barry, of course, when he became a full-time realtor, he's actually the broker here locally, here in Springfield. He said, absolutely, where else would you go but with Exit? But Exit Prime Realty is the company that they work with, and they would love to bring you in. If you're somebody that wants to be mentored into working in real estate, talk to them. They'd love to help you and make sure that you get everything you need to make sure that you're, getting the most bang for your buck when it comes to having a real estate agent to work with. They're going to make sure that you get every little bit of training that you need right out of the gate at Exit Prime Realty. And I had a friend from Ukraine that was a realtor in Ukraine, and she's a refugee. And so they hooked her up with a realtor near her that was also from Ukraine to see if they couldn't help her start a new career here in America. But that's the kind of stuff that they do. They're just so helpful in the community, involved in everything in the community, it seems like. They're cross-Planians. They've been there for nearly 30 years. But like me, they're originally from Kentucky. So while they specialize in Robertson County properties and also buy and sell in the surrounding counties, they also understand what it is to buy in Kentucky if you have an income tax and you're going to live in a state with an income tax and work in one that doesn't. Well, you got to think about that when it comes to the budget that you're going to be living with and how much home you can buy. They're going to help you with that. They are located, where you can call them at 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or you can get in touch with them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or by BUI. RobertsonCounty.com for Barry and Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty. Let them know you turned. Sarah Ricciardi. She is with StayPositive.news. And what else you want to talk about? We got to talk about Miss Mabel, of course. Where's Miss Mabel got going?
Miss Mabel's been a little quiet lately.
Oh, my goodness. Come on.
I know. So, yeah, you need to, let's see, how can we get her to talk again? I don't know.
Okay. We got to get Miss Mabel on it. Yeah, the last post we got from her is in May. Come on, Miss Mabel. She's taking some summer time off.
Yeah, it's too hot.
Yeah. I got you.
It's too hot.
I'm getting ready to take a summer break, so I'm going to be off for a couple of weeks starting Friday. Lee Marie's going to be filling in for me. Thank you, Lee Marie. So just kind of plugging that. She's just probably taking a little bit of time off this summer.
Yeah,
That's how it goes.
Yeah, she's got to take care of everybody else, right?
Exactly. So what else you got for us?
So we have another fun story that we did, and it was from a senior living facility that we have in White House. Charter is the name of it. So they're all over, but they did a senior prom, LaVern.
Oh, I love
the
that.
Sweetest thing
That is
ever.
adorable.
And because of my other job, I was able to go in and actually help them with this, and so it was super fun to be there for the ladies getting ready, like getting their hair, their makeup, getting their fancy dresses on, and they crowned a king and queen of the assisted living side and then the memory care side. And
I love this.
They had a red carpet, literally a red carpet, and then they had family members that would come and escort the residents on the red carpet. It's super sweet. And there's one lady, it's the cover photo, I believe, for the article. And she normally, because I go in there semi-regularly, yes. Yeah. And she doesn't always wear a smile, LaVern. Yeah. Most of the time she doesn't. But goodness, right? That smile right there.
Look at that.
Is precious.
I'm betting that's a grandson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
How precious is that?
Yeah, it was wonderful.
So cute. I love that. I just absolutely love that. That is so beautiful.
And at first the residents were, like, why are we doing a senior prom? Not all of them were too excited, but then as it grew closer and they saw the decorations, and then they became more interested in it, and they had a great time. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And they did a dinner for like the family could come in. They had a fancy dinner for everybody. It was super sweet.
That is just the neatest little thing. And which senior center was this?
Charter.
Charter. What a cool idea.
Yeah,
Charter Senior Living
Sage
in White
Road.
House.
Mm-hmm.
What a beautiful idea. What a
Yeah.
beautiful idea.
Yeah.
I actually saw something I shared this morning. It wasn't here locally, but I would love to see them do this. They did like I don't know, like I don't know, one of the big prisons. They did a father-daughter dance.
Oh,
and where some of these dads had never met their daughter because they're serving long sentences.
Yeah.
And the girls got dressed up and the guys got dressed up that were incarcerated, and they had a daddy-daughter dance.
Oh,
Isn't that
LaVern.
beautiful?
Yeah.
It was just so beautiful. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And of course, our local jail, not usually long incarceration times. If that happens, they have to be sent, transferred or something. But man, I mean, that was so beautiful. I thought, how cool is that?
Yes, I love
to do that for the kiddos,
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really special. But when you do these special things for people that are just, missing out, and I thought that was, more for those girls.
Yes.
But the encouragement that it was to their fathers too, that you know what, you can get beyond this.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just,
Yes. Yeah. You're not limited to.
Yeah. We're supposed to
your
visit
four
those
walls.
imprisoned,
Yes.
That's part of that's what we're supposed to do. There's so many things we're supposed to do that I don't do. And that's, I want to figure out how to get involved in a prison ministry. I don't know. That to me, that's just something that I'm supposed to do, but I don't know how to do it, because I mean, you got to go through a lot of channels to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyway, I'm sorry, I digress.
Yeah.
But what else have you got for us today?
Yeah. The other story that was maybe the most popular, one of the most popular, of course, is sports, right? Youth sports.
Yes.
We love it. Yes. We love it here in Middle Tennessee. So Murfreesboro hosted the TSSAA Spring Fling.
Okay.
And our own Chris Valines was able to cover that. He did a masterful job. Mr. V, right?
Mr. V at
Greenbrier.
Greenbrier. He's one of our Bobcat teachers. We love him.
Yeah, and so he covered it and featured all the different local high schools. It was a big, job to take that chunk and cover it. But he did a masterful job. Liberty Creek, of course, came away with the softball championship. From that, but several local schools.
That's great.
Won accolades. Yeah, so it's great, and we want to do more of it. So if you have somebody in high school that's getting ready, so it could be incoming freshmen, and they love sports and they love to talk about sports, we would love to feature them talking about local sports going on in their school. So we would really love every school to get represented more often. That's one way we can do it, LaVern, trying to give young people a platform.
I love it. And that's the thing because, it's just like, we just got to support our kiddos. We've just got to support our kiddos and give them that platform and give them that opportunity to say, hey, look at what I can do. And man, you learn so much from them when you do that. I have learned so much from my kids that I get the honor to teach at Greenbrier. I mean, my husband would say the same thing about the Springfield kids, what we have learned from our kiddos. It's just amazing when you just give them a place to just to show what they can do.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing. And it comes back to our talent show. That's why we're doing the talent show.
Yes.
Is so we can give them a chance to say, look at me, look at me. I love that. I love that.
Yep.
But that's a great story. Good job, Mr. V.
Yeah.
Mr. V. And y'all need to do a story on him.
I know.
Because I got so tickled whenever he told me, he goes, I think I'm going to retire into teaching like you and Mark did. And I was like, oh, that's great. And then he's teaching English. I'm like, that's like a tested subject, Mr. V.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, but he did it. And I mean, and he had to take, I forget what they call the test that you have to take to show that you can teach it. And he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, he did.
I'm so proud of him, but I'm like, whoo, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
It was so funny. Last year, it was his first year teaching, and he's in the little opening video because he was in because Miss Grimes, she is so good. Our school has been named at the top of the Justin's Renaissance again. I mean, for I don't know how many years now. That would be a great story feature. Yeah. That would be a great story feature is what Miss Grimes, y'all need to do a story on her because what she brings to the table as a teacher and the work that she does blows my mind. I told her, I said, do not ever retire. And she's like, well, I'm going eventually. And I'm like, well, who's going to do what you do? Because it's going to be long before I retire, and I don't want her to go.
Yeah.
Because she brings so much wonderful energy into the school.
I love that.
Because it's an academic and it's an award. The Renaissance program is to award kids that maybe aren't involved in sports, but they're academically excelling, and they show up for school. They're not absent all the time. I have one of my little knucklehead kids. I think he was out 30 days last year or some crazy thing, and he's so talented, so smart. And, I'm like, you can't, but you got to, if you've got this incentive to say, you can't be a part of Renaissance if you're going to miss that much school. Absences, guys, you have no idea what a problem that is in school, because it hinders the entirety of everything that we do in the classroom, because you have a kid that shows up and he's been out for 5 days and you got to catch him up so they can stay up with the class. And it's like, it's so frustrating for teachers. It's frustrating for the kids that are in the class, because you've got these kids that are excelling and they have to kind of, pump the brakes because they're having to slow down, and they, and it's just, fortunately with my program, I can let them work independently and say, okay, you don't have to redo this. You can go work on something else and go look at this. And I can give them tutorials they can look at, and they can work on more advanced stuff. But that's really, I'm just kind of appealing to the parents right now. Get your kids to school on time and make sure they're there. If they're missing, making excuses, it is just destroying what they're, need to do. They've got to be at school, and teachers, us too. You can't miss. That's why they have incentives for teachers. They'll give out gift cards and all kinds of stuff, incentives at the end of the year, where teachers have not missed. I mean, big gift cards too. So, I mean,
nice.
It's not just $25.
Yeah.
It's like $100, or something big. And so, but nonetheless, we're talking with Sarah Ricciardi. She is you're the
creative director.
I was going to say creative director, but I was like, is that right?
Yeah.
Creative director for StayPositive.news, a chance just to showcase the positive things going on in the community. And we're so excited to have them be a part of what we're doing. And just love feature them every month. So what else are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, well, one of the questions I get a lot, LaVern, is do you have enough stories to talk about? I get that question a lot. And, I love to be able to say, yes, we do.
Yes, you do.
We really do. And so we get our leads, from people in the community, from friends and family, obviously, that spot things. We have brand ambassador program going on too. So if you're ever interested in that, let me know. But they keep their eyes on what's going on in their communities as well. And we have a plethora of positive stories to share. And the thing I love, we did one about a flood that happened in Sumner County. And so a young man was swept away in a car. And Fox News covered it. Sorry. Fox News covered it. But we were able to go in there and get to the real story behind it. And so a lot of times, we're not going to be breaking news. That's not why we're here, but we get to peel back the layers and really show you the heart of the story. And we got to do that. And so it turned from this story about this young man being swept away. He was fine after a little time in the hospital, right? He was fine, thankfully. But it turned from that to focusing on how the fathers in the neighborhood came together to be there to help the rescue team rescue this young man. And it turned into this, it was a Father's Day story. So it was just a beautiful, and then that resulted in more community, like the neighbors just feeling more united to one another. It's a country community, so you kind of don't feel connected, and now they feel connected. It's just a beautiful story.
I love that.
So not always we won't be breaking news ever, but we get to the heart of the matter, and that's what's fun about what we do.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look that one up too.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I love all this. I mean, it's just such a great feature and such a great way to hear about the positive things going on in the community, and just cannot say enough about, you need to follow them. You need to hear it, because I'll have I don't do a ton of social media. I mean, people think I do because I do this show every morning, but that will pop up a lot, in your algorithm. If you're seeking positive stuff, that's what's going to feed into your news feed. It makes a difference. So please follow them and help them out. If you have a news lead, if you want to write,
Yes.
You talk about the news stories, written by our readers.
Yeah.
Are you looking for news writers, or do you have, as far as your or anybody that can be paid, or what's the situation there?
So I would always love to talk with anyone that's interested. Right now in the rotation, we're good because we just added a couple new writers to our rotation, but always willing to talk with somebody. And then, of course, the written by our readers category is wide open.
Right.
And then that also it helps me to see who's interested and who, if I need somebody in the future, I can pull in to cover a story as well.
I know somebody that is a financial advisor that writes. And so if he wrote, and I'm going to tell you who, because he's like, don't give me something to do with her. But I know he does do some writing. Would that be something that y'all, because I mean, that could be a positive thing. Mm-hmm. And of course, it would be self-promoting as well.
Right. But, we do have a partner that's a financial advisor.
So you were super careful.
Yeah. But
I get
that.
Well,
we just have to watch it.
If I have somebody come in that's a realtor,
right,
I try to be sensitive to talking about Barry and Rebecca when they're in here, because maybe they're doing something. And so, because when you have a sponsor, that's something you have to be careful of. Everybody's like, well, I've had other realtors want to come on as advertisers. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't because, we have Barry and Rebecca have been with us from the very beginning.
Right. And that's the same for us with our financial Eric.
And so you got to keep those things in mind. And let me just you may know somebody that can do this. I really want to bring on a sponsor that can come on once a week and do like a home improvement kind of show.
Oh, yeah.
The problem I'm running into are those people who do that. They are builders, but they're also realtors themselves.
Okay.
And I can't do that promotion. So if anybody knows anybody out there, and again, this is a paid sponsorship that we're looking for, just to come on and do that home improvement kind of segment, I think would be really cool, because I've had so many times. My husband actually did a radio show with Andy Ward, who is a local plumber, and it was like a home improvement kind of show, and he was the roofer.
Yeah.
And they would get together every Saturday and do a show, and it was great.
So fun.
It was so much fun. But I would love to do a feature like that. So if you know somebody that would be interested in doing that, and it would be promoting their, building or their but we can't do it from a realty standpoint, because we don't want to mess with our, Barry and Rebecca's.
I've got a guy in my head who is super entertaining and would be great.
I wonder.
So I'll talk with him.
Yeah, and
for
see
you.
if he would be interested in doing that. And I could give you the particulars on the cost and all that, and that way we could, and we wouldn't have to bring them in once a week, but I would love to. I think that'd be a really cool feature. We could lock them into like the 7 to 7:30 slot on Thursday, because we have 7:30 to 8. We do a United Way segment. Because that's the nonprofits in the community.
Yes.
And so we always like touching with United Way, because we talk about the nonprofits going on in the community. So that's something that we do every week. But that's kind of in my mind. I think that 7 to 7:30 slot on Thursday morning would be a beautiful place to put a little home improvement feature.
Yeah.
Every week. So
I like that. Yeah.
I love that idea. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yes.
But anyway,
we're wanting to add in our lifestyle feature, a medical feature. So whether it's a chiropractor giving tips, whether it's, whatever, that's what we're looking for specifically.
Call the wild dog.
Yeah.
Call the wild dog. But I mean, he's not, he is just, 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's actually in Robertson County. Would it have to be somebody that's in Robertson or Sumner County? He's on the edge if he's not.
Yeah. I mean, he would probably want to, a partner would want to be able to get our clientele, our readership. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But
he's worth traveling. I'll just tell you right now. But that's a great idea. See, these are the things. We're just all brainstorming today.
We are. Oh, I have one more thing real quick.
Sure,
sorry.
Go for
we're
it.
doing a giveaway right now. We're giving away Stay Positive News merch, because we're growing our following. And so if you go to our socials and share us, comment, tag your friends, it enters you to win, because we're really, really close to 5,000 followers on Facebook, and then we're really close to another 1,000 on Instagram. So
awesome.
Just trying to grow that to the next level.
I love it. I love it. Very good. Very good. Maybe, I don't know, maybe one street over needs to be a sponsor of y'all. I don't know, because
I feel like you kind of are because, you give us a spot. Yeah.
So, but that's the thing, because we're always, I mean, that people don't understand the value in having followers.
Yes.
It just gets your message out more and more.
Yes.
And one thing I'm working on is doing some stuff ministry wise. I don't know what that looks like, because old devil's been messing with me this summer and keeping me very distracted. And I believe that is just, when you're really distracted from things, that's the enemy.
Yeah,
that's the enemy. And but we will get beyond that, and we're gonna get some stuff going. Yes. But I don't really know how to really put it out there. So maybe I'll work with you. Maybe I'll reach out with you guys
please.
See,
yes,
because
please do.
That's so important. So, but we got to get them to 5,000 followers.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Yes,
I
we're
love that.
So close.
So close. All right then. Well, I'll tell you, I'm gonna tease real quickly my other sponsor, but I know Lee Marie's probably gonna be talking about them too. So I think I'm gonna save their full ad for tomorrow. But the UPS store, guys, if you've never been to our UPS store, well, you obviously never returned anything from Amazon, because that's. But when they first started, when I was talking to Tom, whenever they first started advertising, I said, people need to know that you're not just the place you drop off your Amazon stuff, right? They have a special going on right now. You can get 10% off wide format prints and 50% off shredding services. That's their little coupon they got going right now. But remember, hang on to your coupons because they never expire as long as you have the coupon. And then they have a special place where you can go in and register for a $250 prize. I think it's an Amazon card, but for your feedback. But go in and see them. They also have notary services. I say I'm not going to do their full ad. I'm not, but I'm going to tell you real quick. 513 Memorial Boulevard. Their number 615-384-0093, 615-384-0093. But because Lee Marie's going to talk about them too, I'm going to say more about them till tomorrow. But always let them know U-Turn sent you. That's the UPS store and print shop, not just for your Amazon packages.
Right.
We've got a few minutes left here. What else do you want to cover?
Yeah. So another feature we're doing on our socials is the community spotlight. I kind of mentioned it with you. So we are going to feature you because you're so involved in the community. I had somebody comment and said, you're like the original. I don't remember their exact quote, but a legend. That's what they said. They called you a legend. Yeah. But we love your work that you do with refugees and mission work, right? Is that okay for me to?
Absolutely. Yeah. I haven't done a ton with the refugee community, or it's not even the immigrant community. Yeah. I've worked with a lot of Egyptians. I've got several of the Egyptian people that I'm still super close with. But it's one of those things now that I'm not working at church. I don't have, and one thing too, I used to do English second language.
Yes.
And it's just beautiful. Right. And I miss that so much. It's probably one of the best seasons of my life. We did that for a couple of years in the Egyptian community, and also had the opportunity to teach. I would love to find Solomon. He is from the Congo. He came into our church and said, will somebody help me with English? And I was like, I will. And so we practiced English using the Bible. And he's just such a beautiful person. And he grew up in a refugee camp in the Congo because his village was taken over. And, he met his wife and had 4 kids while living in this refugee camp. Wow. And finally was allowed to immigrate. I'm wanting to say, okay, it was probably, he's been here probably about 7 years now, but he came right at the very first, and I said, why are what are you wanting to do? He goes, well, I want to be able to speak English, of course, because I'm in America, but he goes, I want to be able to minister to you guys because you are the mission field.
I love it. So we have
he's powerful.
We have a story of a family from Haiti that has come over. Now they're in Pennsylvania. They're not here in Tennessee, but for the same reason. And they're
here. This is the mission field.
Yes.
That's powerful.
Yes, it is.
And there's a bunch of Egyptian immigrants up here. There's actually, my friend Susie Allen has some neighbors from Egypt that are here in Robeson County. Maybe you could tell them.
Yes.
Because we don't have a
I would
ton.
love,
Let me reach out to Susie because she has had just the best relationship with them. And I just love it. I said, I'm so jealous of your Egyptian neighbors because the Egyptian people that have immigrated here, they're just some of the most beautiful people. They're just amazing. They love Jesus. They're Coptic Christians. The cross I have on my wrist I'll have to send you a story about why I have this.
Oh yes, I would
cross.
love that.
And because I've never thought, and that's this one too. This is a cross. It's not a clover. I know it looks like a clover, but I need to get them tweaked a little bit to make them more defined. But it's all from the Coptic community that I have that, because that's just one of the best seasons of my life is when I did that.
Oh,
It's
I love
really
that.
Cool. I love you, friend.
Yes, I love you
It's 8
too. Thank
o'clock.
you.
It's time to go, but I would be. I'm
Yay.
honored that you would want
Yes.
to do that, and we'll be glad to.
excited. Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. You should feel great because we've had a full hour of staypositive.news, and follow them, check them out, help them get over that 5,000 threshold of followers.
Yes.
And you know what? Follow me too, and follow WSGI, follow LaVern, LaVern Vivio, and follow WSGI, because the more we promote that, the more we get that out there. And here comes Lee Marie, the Ghost Show is coming on. We really appreciate that tip about Doc. Yeah, Wild Doc. I mean, absolutely. So we got to get that over to Country H. And it's time for me to go. Remember, Lee Marie's going to be filling in for me. I'm taking a summer break starting Friday, and I'll be gone for a couple of weeks. I'm just taking a couple of weeks off. I got things I got to get done, y'all, before school starts. Stay tuned. Lee Marie is up next with The Ghost Show. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a fabulous day.